back again. Oh my god, I can see my gray hairs popping out. My hair's all fucking greasy and gross. But back again for the day 10 check-in. I froze that time. I'm always paying attention to try and figure out exactly what the fuck is causing it to freeze sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't. I don't know so far. Day 10 check-in. Yeah, so far so good. Yesterday, obviously, I mentioned that my workout in the morning I had done, so that's a check mark, and I can tell you that yesterday evening I was able to do my lifting, and I also did my extra exercise set, which is forearms. Every now and then, if I'm like really tired or really hurting, I'll drop forearms because forearms are something that I can work out on, like even a rest day or a cardio day. They recover really quickly, but yeah, I was not feeling it yesterday. I was like, I'm just gonna fucking do it. Just power through, just do it. So happy to see that that was what happened. That's how that went. But overall, pretty good day yesterday. I woke up in the middle of the night. I'll tell this story here. Why the fuck not? No one's really watching, so it'll wind up on Scarish sooner or later. But if you happen to be following this journey of mine, then you'll hear it a little bit early. So last night, around 4:30 in the morning, our corgi, our little dog, jumped up on our bed, and she laid by my feet. And she does that sometimes. Most of the time, she lays by Robin. So I was like, I've been chosen. I was so happy. And then she was laying there, and I was already falling back asleep. And I realized she was shaking. She was like trembling. So I took my CPAP mask off, which means like, okay, I'm not falling back asleep now. And I sat up to see what was wrong, and I checked her to see if there was something hurt on her, and she wasn't hurting. And I thought maybe she was bit by a spider, and it hurt her, and it freaked her out, or something along those lines. And then I shifted to just sort of look around the room, put my feet on the floor, and she started barking and growling at our bedroom door, which was closed. So I was like, okay, that's fucking creepy. So I acquired a weapon that I keep next to the bed, and I just went to check the house. So I started walking through the house, started with the upstairs, went downstairs, checked everything, opened the back door to where they like to go outside, and we have a little astroturf in the back that they use to run around, and they also, pee and poo out there, and then we get it cleaned every Friday. All that to say, she didn't want to go out, which is very rare for her. For that corgi, she wants to be outside all the time. We stuck our heads out like Scooby-Doo shit, and there was a dog out there that was crying, and like crying like it was not happy, like it was probably in pain in some way, but it cried a couple of times, and I thought that might be what she heard, that might be why she's freaking out, but it didn't continue to cry. So I was like, maybe that's it. She didn't want to go out, closed the door, did another check downstairs because I was pretty creeped out. And then she did want to go outside. So I was like, okay, cool. So went out there with her, checked the backyard while I was out there. Nothing. She peed, came back in. By that time, my second dog, my Shiba Inu named Namiri, had come downstairs. And she comes down because she knows she'll get a treat because the little dog went out. Big dog, old dog privilege. She gets a treat if the little dog gets a treat. She didn't want to go outside. So grabbed 2 treats for the 2 of them, was like, all right, let's go back to bed. Head back upstairs, get them into the bedroom, give them their treats. Robin's awake. Robin realized that I had gotten up and left the room. And so she's like, what's going on? So I told her, like, the little dog was freaked out. And I checked the house to see what was wrong because she was growling, she was barking. So I told her, this exact same thing I'm saying right now. And she's like, that is creepy, but, the bigger dog wasn't nervous or didn't make a noise. So, it's probably something that just happened. Or maybe even, Anya had a bad dream. Whatever. Turn off the lights, lay down and go back to sleep. While we're laying there, I'm a little bit creeped out, so I'm still awake. And we just hear a thump, 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 thump. And it's our corgi. It's our little dog who started this whole thing. She had taken her ball that she plays fetch with and dropped it in one of the corners of our bedroom where there's no one. She only does that if there's someone there to ask them to throw it. Or if they try and grab it, she snatches it up. So I was like, that's super fucking weird. That is not a toy she brings to the other dog to ask to play. And the other dog was also up and in that area. So we sat up, we're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, that is so weird. So I didn't mention it in the moment, but like, my first thought was, it's like she sees someone over there. And so like, we talked about it a little bit. We're wide awake at this point. And I'm like, this is really fucking creepy. And I told Robin, like, this is the least comfortable I felt since we moved into this house, inside this house. And it was just a really, really creepy moment. So we weren't going to sleep. And then, eventually our corgi just crawled underneath the bed. She was like, fuck this. And she just went under the bed. And she usually doesn't sleep under there. She sleeps either in her kennel or in the bed with us. So it was definitely a weird thing. And like a little bit after the corgi went under the bed, our big dog went and picked up that toy, picked up that ball and brought it back next to their beds. We have 2 dog beds at the foot of our bed. And she set it down there, and then she laid down and went to sleep. And like she doesn't do that either. She doesn't like take toys and like move them to where she wants them to be. And I didn't mention it to Robin then either, but it was almost like she was saying like one of two things to me. My first thought was, she's like, "This is over. Let's go to sleep." You know, let's stop being silly here. Let's go to sleep. The other thing I thought is she also saw something, but she's like, that thing doesn't like to play, and that's why she took the ball back. And that really fucking creeped me out. That thought kept me up for a couple hours. I don't think Robin wound up going back to sleep. So kind of a creepy night. Went back to bed at 6. Had to get up at 7. Robin was on her way to work already. Had meetings starting at 7:30. So I was like, fuck, I have to really get up and like get my shit together. And I had meetings from 7:30 until I think 1:30 today. I managed to sneak in my first meal, which was supposed to be at 9, at 10:30. And my weigh-in came like, I think 20 minutes late. It's nothing too terrible, but all that to say, yesterday had positive results. Wound up weighing 0.8 pounds less than I weighed yesterday, which is super cool. It's always nice to see progress. And this is what I would call like a good day on my expected progress level, now that I'm like moving away from the shock value of the stuff that happens right when you start to diet. At least right when I start to diet and I'm doing it like this, which I've done before. You see some big numbers, which are super encouraging, and then you start to see numbers like this, and I think people can get discouraged. But realistically, like, this is probably high. I anticipate like half a pound per day as a high average. So 0.8 is fucking dope for me. Today so far, I have managed to do my bike. So I did 9 miles on the bike today. Same workout routine as yesterday, same program that's built into the bike. So it went pretty well. I was like kind of locked in and just thinking about what happened last night, so I didn't really think about how much it was miserable, which is usually what I do when I'm doing cardio. I'm like, fuck, I hate this, I hate life, I hate everything. But yeah, I was just sort of like zonked out, which is exactly where I want to be when I do cardio, because then my body just goes on cruise control, whatever pace I've set, and if it's a fast pace, I'm just sweating bullets. So hopefully that'll yield positive results for tomorrow. Today's the first day I decided to have a lunch where I did chicken, which is usually my dinner, rather than just like a sandwich or some chips. And then I had 2 pudding cups for a snack at 2. And these times are not accurate. It was like 10 and 1 because of how fucked my meetings have been. And then I was like, I need to get back on track because I don't like eating late when I'm dieting. I have no heartburn right now, which is amazing because I don't eat past 7. So I was like, all right, just do like a follow-up dessert to your lunch that happened at 1. So I did that at 2. So including whatever I'm going to have at 4:30 and the protein shake after I lift, I have 505 calories left. I should have some chicken in the fridge, and if not, there's something around the house that I can definitely eat. So doing pretty well, and I still have that one workout later today to go. Total weight lost is currently sitting at 16 pounds on the dot, which is pretty cool. Let's take a look, though, and just keep things in context and not go too crazy here. So obviously when I started out that first day, 5.6 pounds, it's almost 6 pounds lost in a day. Water weight, stomach weight, took like 4 shits that day. Because my stomach has finally adjusted to the fact that like I'm not filling it constantly with food, and I had all this food already in it. So that was a huge number. The 0.4 was more indicative of what I expected. A 2.6 there, a 1 there, a 2.6, like clearly body responding to the fact that I'm doing some cardio and actually finally dieting. 0.8 when you look at the last 5 days, so the 12, 7, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, I was around 352 on the 7th, and I'm 348 now, so not a huge change, but 5 days, 4 pounds is pretty fucking good, and that's an average of what I expect to see, around half a pound a day. So 2.5 pounds is what I would expect. I've done 4. Obviously this 1.8 here did really help, and not exactly sure what locked that in for me, but floating around this 1,500 calorie spot is good. It is curious though, and I might experiment maybe after like 3 or 4 weeks. I might experiment with what it looks like if I did like 1,800 calories and kept the same workout routine. I'm not having trouble with regaining my strength. Actually, yesterday I took my weight up for lat pull downs just because I was like, the weight seems light. So my strength is recovering. I don't hurt. So the protein that I'm taking in is doing its job, which is great. But I am worried that if I go too low on this with the amount of workouts I'm doing, because I'm doing, only 30 minutes of cardio a day. It's not a lot, but it is 9 miles. It's like 250 calories burned in that sitting. And then I do like 60 calories burned in 10 minutes to warm up before I do my lifting. And then lifting, obviously, you burn calories and you need to take in protein to heal. So there's a lot to say with a program like I'm running right now to have low calories on top of everything else I'm doing. So yeah, going to try and be mindful of it and just maybe play around with it. Maybe between Christmas and New Year's, maybe I have maybe 2 or 3 days where I just do like 1,800, maybe even 2,000 calories. Because like for a guy my size, the daily calorie tracker that they give you is like 2640 daily. But realistically, I am very stationary during the day because I have so many fucking meetings. I'm at my desk so much that 1,500 seemed more like accurate to me. If you get to 1,200, you go lower. Your body can enter starvation mode, which I don't want to do that. I've not been hungry pretty much this entire time I've done this because, like, yeah, I'll post meals where I'm doing like 200 calories, which sounds like nothing to someone when a Snickers bar is like more than that. But I'm doing like a salad that has 70 calories coming from romaine hearts, which is like a fucking giant serving bowl of it. And then like onions, like an ounce of onions, which is fucking plenty, is 11 calories, And then chicken is super low, tossing chicken into that, and then just spending like 150 calories on the dressing, Some people would look at that and say 200 calories is starving yourself. Realistically, I went to bed that night, I'm like, I'm so fucking full. Like that salad was huge. I shouldn't have eaten all that. So just like trying to, make sure I'm not forcing myself to feel like I have an empty stomach so I can lose weight and actually trying to feel full. And so far, so good, man. I mean, we're 11 days into the month. And yeah, taking it seriously, doing a really good job. Haven't missed a workout yet. So haven't gotten hurt, which is really big for someone my age, and trying not to fuck myself up. So a bunch of bloviating and bullshitting to say things are going well. 16 pounds down so far. Current weight is 348. And that's the other thing too, man. You do progress and you feel good. Like progress is looking good, but like still super big, still got a ton of work to do. So yeah, that's where we stand right now. Moving on. It's time to Wordle. 87-day streak. I almost did this last night to like take my mind off shit, but I was like, nah, I gotta save it for the stream. So that means I've really attached this to it. Clout gives us a U in the wrong spot. Raise. We'll burn the rest of those that I like to use. We know where the S is. U and E. That's curious that the S does not, that the E doesn't finish off that word. U and E tend to stack on top of each other unless it's something like usage, which the S is in the wrong spot for that, and there's no A. Guise, G-U-I-S-E. Obviously there's no I. Guess could be it. G-U-E-S-S. Is that a good guess? It sure fucking is. I am the smartest man alive. I'm the smartest man on the fucking planet right now. And I picked this because I was thinking a lot about Ocarina of Time because I just really want to run it again. And I might stream running it too because I fucking love doing randomizers. I might just do start to finish normal Ocarina. And then do some randomizer shit. But yeah, this is all the dungeons within Ocarina. So I'm gonna go in the order that you play them. I'm not gonna go the order that they're laid out here. So the first one is Inside Deku Tree, which I think set the pace for like 3D worlds. Obviously Super Mario 64 came out and that was a 3D world as well. But like for me, Inside the Deku Tree was this massive moment where it's like, it sounds stupid to say, it's like we're no longer on the page. We're no longer 2D. And the Deku Tree was like kind of a beginner dungeon, but it was still super fucking awesome. It gave you like the idea of you have to use the item, which is the old Zelda adage. Like the item that you get in the dungeon is what you're going to need to use to complete it. And it like checks all those fucking boxes. So I'm putting it A tier. The next is Dodongo's Cavern. Very similar. Adds in the fire element to it. The fucking fire bats are so annoying in this goddamn level. And there's certain like blind corners that you have to go around that will hit you with those fucking things that slide back and forth on the floor. You get the bombs. There's a lot of instances in these first 3 dungeons where you realize you're going to have to backtrack. The boss, the scale of the fucking boss in Dodongo's Cavern when you first see it, it's so horrifying. And then you realize, like, as long as I'm not fucking stupid, I can survive this. And it actually, then after the first time you beat it, you're like, this is actually pretty easy. So I'm going to go with A tier for this as well. Next is Lord Jabu Jabu's Belly. This one's really annoying for me because I really fucking hate stun locks. And anytime you bump into those stupid jellyfish, it does stun lock you. That said, the level works really well. It's kind of gross, the fact that there's like those fucking like dangly things you have at the back of your throat that open the fucking sphincters, which are the doors, and like the entire concept is like this giant fish god is infected with parasites that you fight your way through to get to the princess, not the one you think, the Zora princess, whose name escapes me in this moment, just to get like her fucking family jewel, which will give you the third stone that you need to unlock the Triforce. Like, it's fun. Someone's printing right now behind me, so forgive me for that. They'll probably come into the room and interrupt the stream. But I'm trying to remember the boss in Jabu Jabu's Belly, because I immediately think of that boss that's in the fucking water temple. But that said, it's that fucking amoeba boss where you have to fucking use your slingshot, or excuse me, your boomerang over and over and over. Another really good boss. A tier. Man, I'm congested. I apologize if you hear me snorting. Next is Forest Temple. First temple as adult. Forest Temple for me was the hardest temple in the game, because there's a key at the very beginning that if you skip, you can get really deep into the temple to the point where you're like, there might be some like spots I missed, some secrets I skipped. And then you start just searching the dungeon, not realizing it's actually not in the dungeon. It's like this room outside the dungeon, which really pissed me off. But it's a gorgeous dungeon, and I really like the fact that you're fighting like the four Poes until the end. And then you get Phantom Ganon, which just blows you away. You're like, I'm fucking fighting him already? And then he like tears his face off, and it's like, oh, is he like a ghost? And like the fucking paintings that you have to pay attention to. That key at the beginning, though, really fucked me up when I was a kid. But you know what? It's S tier. It's a great dungeon, and it's fucking gorgeous, and I love it. Next is the dungeon at the top, the Fire Temple, at the top of Death Mountain. The idea that you couldn't get to this one until you got the red tunic too, like you fucking burn alive, was super cool to me. The fire bats make their reappearance. Obviously, there's some difficulties with keys, but overall, there's a lot of secrets in this dungeon that you can skip and still finish the dungeon. And what a great boss! The fucking dragon, the Megaton hammer to fight the dragon, amazing. S tier. I'm basically going to put all these dungeons in S tier. I'm realizing as I'm going through this. Is the Water Temple next, or is the Ice Cavern next? I can't remember. We're going to do Water Temple because I don't remember that. I'm pretty sure Water Temple and then Ice Cavern. Water Temple is one of those ones that's famous for being a horrible dungeon because so many people got stuck in it, which, interestingly enough to me, this is a super hot take, but that means it was a great dungeon. Because you didn't just fucking walk through it. And I think that if all the dungeons had been super easy, that people wouldn't like Ocarina as much because they wouldn't have felt challenged by it. And for me, this dungeon, I didn't have any problem finding the keys because I just kept track of what I was moving when you raise the water level and realizing it's going to leave an empty space once the water goes up. So I didn't have a problem with Water Temple. My problem with Water Temple was I forgot to unfreeze the fucking Goron dude. Excuse me, the fucking Zora dude, King Zora, who will give you a blue tunic so that you don't have to worry about drowning. So I'm spamming B underwater to fucking swim as fast as I can in this goddamn red tunic, trying to not die, not realizing that I could have just done this easy. But I honestly think this is probably the best dungeon in the entire game. People sleep on it because it was difficult and they don't like difficult things, but people are also stupid. Ice Cavern is pretty basic, but at the end, like, there's some challenge to it to get through it. It's not, I don't think, a proper dungeon because it's never a proper boss. Also, that amoeba boss at the end of the Water Temple is pretty fucking cool too. That entire sequence. I think this one is just 2 white wolves. So I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna put that at A because it does have the fire mechanic, the blue fire mechanic melting the ice, which is cool. After that, do you go? Where do you go? Okay, what's left? Ganon's Castle is obviously last. We're gonna scooch that one over there. Spirit Temple second to last. Yo, down the well before you get to the Shadow Temple. And this is the Trials. Okay, so down the well is this guy. So we get the Eye of Truth. It's kind of it's another incomplete dungeon, but it has one of those terrifying bosses with all those fucking arms that pop up, which when you first see it is just horrifying. Great effect. Put it in S tier. And then you get to the Shadow Temple. Shadow Temple has the fucking bongo bongo. It bounces you if you stay in the middle of the fucking drum. As long as you go to the edge, if you're zooming in with your bow, it won't knock you out of it. Another fucking great dungeon, great use of the item. The Trials I don't think is necessarily a dungeon because, again, no proper boss. It's just have you collected all the keys and found all the secrets. But you also fight like a bunch of mini bosses throughout it. So it is super fun, but I'm not going S tier. I'm realizing I really like a boss that caps off a dungeon. The Spirit Temple, having like half of it be in the kid mode, half of it be in the adult mode. The bosses in it are fantastic. I just overall really enjoy the Spirit Temple. I think it's another one of my favorites. It's probably my second favorite in the entire game. And then Ganon's Castle. Ganon's Castle is honestly kind of fucking lame. Like, you have 6 trials to unlock it. And, like, yeah, that's fine. But they're not super in-depth. They're super challenging. The first time you play them, yeah, sure, they're okay. And some things might, like, confuse you. Especially, like, the Spirit Hallway where you don't have the actual orb when you get through it. And you have to go all the way through it. Like, through a fake wall, excuse me. But Ganon's at the top, man. Like, the dungeon itself isn't too complicated. You have to fight your way up the stairs, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, in the end, when you fight your way all the way fucking down, and then the tower is completely collapsed. The castle, I should say. And then you fight Ganon. So you fight Ganondorf, and then you fight Ganon. It's just fucking epic. It goes to S tier. Amazing game. You can argue with me, but you're wrong. Ocarina of Time dungeon list. Save. So, one last thing to mention before I take off. I am going to have some time off coming up, which I'm very excited for. During that time, I think Robin has to work most of next week. So Wednesday, Thursday specifically, I might have some free time to actually just stream. I'm debating what I want to do. It could be this. I could stream Battlefield. I could stream a new game called Ashes of Creation that's in early access if I ever have a chance to log in. But yeah, I might actually do some streaming. So we'll see how that goes. But either way, I'm going to try and keep this rig rolling. Keep what I'm calling Project 40, because I'm 40 years old, going, and keep this number moving down. You can kind of see like the trajectory is starting to not flatten out, but like slow its dip, which is kind of expected. So we'll see how that goes day over day, and we'll see what tomorrow looks like. So I will check in tomorrow. That is everything. Hope you all enjoyed it. All 0 of you. But yeah, this is helping me. So bye.